Welcome to the Works of Wonder podcast. This podcast was inspired by the powerful message of Beyond Words, the art of effectively communicating with your children, written by Dr. Beth Long. Beth is a licensed professional counselor, a board-certified behavior analyst, and the founder of Works of Wonder Therapy here in Montgomery, Alabama. Each week, we'll talk through real stories, practical tools, and faith-rooted insights that help parents lead with grace rather than fear. We hope you enjoy it. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back, Beth.
Welcome back, Elena.
How
I'm
you
so
feeling?
happy to have all these people listening. I hope all these people listening.
Grandma, Grandpa, shout out.
Yes, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited to talk. Today, we're going to talk about establishing healthy communication patterns in your home.
Okay.
That's
a serious topic.
So many families feel stuck in the pattern and cycle of arguing and shutting down and talking over one another. And you, in your book, talk about the 4 communication habits that predict relationship breakdown.
Yes.
When you first learned this, how did it change how you saw family conversation?
It was unbelievable and unbelievably insightful. And I love the way this was researched. Can I explain how it was researched?
Absolutely.
Because it's fascinating. So basically this is from the Gottman's research there in Seattle. And they created this apartment.
I love the way they do research.
It's fascinating, but they created this apartment, and every participant wore, and couples spent 24 hours there, and they wore heart rate monitors. They monitored their urine for cortisol.
Whoa.
Yeah. They looked at everything to really find out, and they realized that they could predict divorce by these 4 behaviors. And it's just fascinating. It's fascinating research. So I loved it when I learned about it. And ever since then, it's just been unbelievably convicting.
Tell us the 4.
Okay.
Patterns.
So criticism, contempt, stonewalling, and defensiveness.
Okay. Why do these patterns show up so easily in families?
Because they're truly our natural bend to conflict, right? So if somebody I don't want to say the word triggers, but if somebody pushes a button, that's going to be my natural bend unless I go out of my way to respond differently.
Can you briefly walk us through each of the 4? So criticism, how is that a communication style? What would that look like?
So that would look like you... my husband's going to hear this and he's going to remind me of this, but it's the you always and the you nevers, right? So you never clean up after yourself, or if we're talking to a child, you're never careful. It's when we immediately take something and criticize it.
Okay. And then contempt.
Contempt is the most destructive. So contempt is bordering on hatred.
Okay.
And it would be saying something like, the way you do that disgusts me, or I can't even stand to be around you when you do that. So that would be contempt.
Okay. Defensiveness.
Defensiveness would be the minute somebody comes to you about something and you immediately jump to defense.
Okay.
So instead of saying, help me understand that, you would say, I don't do that. That is not what I meant. What are you saying? Right. So we're defending our own behavior. And then stonewalling is when we pretty much shut the other person out. So.
Okay. Stonewall. And what usually drives parents into these patterns?
They are, I think sometimes they're misguided in thinking that that's how they can teach their children, that using that type of language helps their children learn, but it doesn't. It puts a wall. The other thing is, like I said, it's like truly our flesh. It's the way our flesh responds when we see something we don't like.
Well, and your whole goal, one of your major goals, is to encourage parents to not move with fear.
Yes.
And I feel like we can fall into these patterns out of fear.
Very much so.
And tired. When we're tired.
Yes, and exhaustion. Yeah, fear and exhaustion. Yeah.
How can those 2 feed into it?
Ooh. When I am exhausted, I don't take the time to choose my words wisely, right? And when I'm doing it from fear, I'm just reacting. I'm not being intentional. I just want to quote unquote fix the situation and move forward. And so it's just destructive.
Can you give us some like children's eyes, children's POV on each of the patterns? What are they experiencing and feeling for each of these communication patterns? You can start with criticism?
Okay, so for criticism, their children feel a lot of shame. And guilt is good, shame is bad, right? So making sure that when we correct them, we don't criticize them. When we use things like you never do this, right? But like going out of our way to find times that they do the right thing and we praise them, but then we also say, "Oh, let me show you how to do it better." So that's, we just don't want to shame them.
Okay.
In any way.
And what are they feeling, picking up on with contempt?
Contempt is, that kind of language is almost, that would be pretty verbally abusive.
It would, yeah.
It really would. So anytime that we are using language that's almost like, I regret having you as my child. You are such a waste of my time. You are, it's just, it's verbally abusive and detrimental.
Absolutely. Defensiveness.
When we are defensive, when we as the parents are defensive, because children are just going to naturally be defensive.
Absolutely.
Right? But when we are defensive, we are modeling exactly what we don't want to see. And so we are trying to justify our own bad behavior. So it's like trying to avoid that word, but. You did this, but I did, right? So it for much more than like psychologically damaging, it's just horrible role modeling. Modeling.
Absolutely. And the last is stonewalling.
Okay, that one is almost as painful as contempt. There is a huge difference in, I'm getting really frustrated, so I'm going to go take a break for a second and shutting your child out. One is necessary to make good choices, and then one is just cruel. So it's okay to take a break, to set a boundary, but to have a conflict with your child and then have a flat affect towards them the rest of the day is it just shatters their emotional safety and kind of makes them walk on eggshells the rest of the day.
Right. It's like that research that shows how much they look to their parents' face.
Yes.
And if you're just stonewalling, they're missing every time they're making that connection, every time that neural pathway is jagged and unsafe.
Yes.
And hard.
Yes. And then we're just throwing their sweet little central nervous system off. It's
oh my goodness, it's just a mess. So you talk about going from criticism, parents or people, marriages, anybody who's stuck in the criticism communication style, to gentle startups. What does a gentle startup? What is that?
So that's simple. It's just changing your you to I language.
Okay.
I really like it when you do this. I need you to help me understand this. Then it just helps. Then it kind of builds more, especially with children, it builds a team mentality almost of like, this is a problem. Let's work on it together. I'm joining in with you. I'm not pushing you away. Together, we're going to do this.
How does that you language in conflict just escalate in children?
I think right in all of us, the minute somebody comes in with you and an attack, you've just made a huge divide.
Right.
A massive divide.
Absolutely.
So anytime you can help them understand we are all on the same team. You made a mistake. We are on the team to help us fix it.
Okay.
To help you do better next time. Or, you know what I mean? Very huge difference than a you statement with a criticism.
Yeah. You coach parents pausing and shifting from blaming to expressing what they actually feel.
Yes.
What would that look like?
So I think the easiest way to do that is to lean in and get curious. But with children, let's be very careful, because I think we ask children a lot of why questions at inappropriate ages, right?
Yes.
So I don't know why I do a lot of the wrong things I do. A lot of times it's because I was just reacting, right? But for children, I like to encourage parents to ask how and what questions. How should you have done it? What do we do now? So we lean in with the curiosity, but we don't want to hammer them over the why of what happened, because they probably don't know.
No.
So kind of letting that go, but helping them learn what to do next.
Do you feel like asking, what did you expect to happen? Maybe that's developmentally appropriate for older kiddos.
Yes.
Do you think that is like a why question, or is that valuable?
No, I think that one's valuable because it does help you understand the heart of where it was coming from without because why just, I don't know, it kind of stumbles all of us, but that's a great one. What did you expect would happen?
Yeah. What outcome were you looking for? And then you also coach from contempt to appreciation. So you say contempt is the most damaging pattern. We talked about that.
Yes.
But how does sarcasm or eye rolling affect children emotionally?
This is so hard to embrace and understand. And sometimes I will lovingly debate parents over it, but children do not get sarcasm.
Okay.
Even if they act like they do, they're laying in their bed at night, possibly crying over it.
Oh, baby.
Or they remember the words, or they just do not get sarcasm. When your behaviors and your words don't match, it really makes a child feel unsafe.
I'm trying to think of like a common sarcastic term or phrase that parents might throw out to kids. Do you have an example?
Okay. Do you remember on the Friends episode where she lost the fingernail in the
Oh, yes.
in the
Phoebe?
pasta or
Yes.
whatever? Yeah.
No, it was Monica.
It was Monica, and her mom walked in the kitchen and she said, I had something prepared because we call it a Monica. And I think we do that a lot. Like so when we'll say to kids, you're always lazy, but even if we say it in a way that we think is kind of funny, like, oh, of course you're being lazy. They don't get it. They just hear the attack.
Yep.
And so just avoid that altogether. Be as kind and honest with children and everyone at all times so that there is no misunderstanding of what's being said.
And what does moving to appreciation, what does that look like in everyday parenting moments?
So I have one of my children has a very, very, very different personality than me. And he and I had a lot of conflict when he was growing up. And there was a moment in his teenage years where I walked in the kitchen at about 2:00 in the morning and he was crying at the sink and he said, I'm trying so hard and I'm failing. And it just crushed me. But it also taught me I'm making a lot of assumptions and I'm not appreciating just because we were so different. I was assuming that certain behaviors meant things that they didn't mean. So like truly stepping back and going, let me appreciate how God made them. Let me appreciate their approach to the world. Let me not make any assumptions about it, but truly appreciate it. And then we have to parent what we need to parent. But sometimes when we shift our perspective to appreciation, we see a lot of things we wouldn't have seen otherwise.
And appreciation isn't permissive.
It is not at all.
You talk about the 5-to-1 praise to correction ratio.
Yes.
And I feel like that can be weaponized.
It can very much be weaponized.
But tell us your thought behind that.
Right. And for all of us, it's true for all of us. We're going to remember what one person said, right? If I get 100 reviews and I get one negative review, I'm going to remember that one. But it can also be weaponized in that when we make it broad to children, it's almost like they don't value it. Right. So if I say something like, you're so, right. We try to avoid like the things that are not in their control. But also if I say, you're so smart, they're going to go, oh, that's what she would say to everybody. Yeah. But if I say, you did so well on this math worksheet, you're getting great at doing math. If it's very specific, then the child encodes it and believes it.
I like that.
And it really does matter because you will, and I'm sure all parents out there who have children old enough to speak have heard their children push back when they were given praise.
Yes. I still struggle with that. I love when I see my kids, the thoughtfulness, like I love how thoughtful you were in placing the Legos there and making it look that way.
Yes.
Right. The specific things that are praising things that aren't just saturated.
Right.
The blanket. Defensiveness to responsibility. Why is it so hard for parents to admit when they're wrong?
I think, probably pride. At the root of it is pride. But then it's also, we can justify bad behavior because children make mistakes. Mm-hmm. And so all of us can defend our own behaviors in a reasonable way, but we shouldn't. Mm-hmm. But if a child comes to us and they're saying something like, for example, I don't like it that you're on your phone when I'm trying to talk to you. Mm. We don't need to jump to, I'm sending this email to my boss because your child doesn't care. He doesn't care. Nope. But if we say, let me find a better time to do this, go ahead and tell me the story, or let me finish this really fast, then I'll come talk to you. But we have got to avoid jumping to defending our own bad behavior, or helping the child understand maybe why it's not bad behavior, right? Because step back and think about it before you do that, because sometimes it doesn't matter how you defend it, they're still not going to understand.
Absolutely.
So just be wise in that.
Why is it so valuable to apologize to your children?
Oh, because you are not perfect.
No.
You are not perfect. We all make massive mistakes. And raising children who really understand, I'm going to make a mistake. Mm-hmm. I have to go back and repair it. Mm-hmm. That's gonna raise a very healthy adult. But you're gonna make a mistake. You're gonna make at least five parenting mistakes today alone. But the difference in healthy families and unhealthy families are the ones who go back and repair. Mm. So take the time to repair that mistake.
They only think that you're perfect for such a small time. And I would rather them learn that I'm not perfect from me, and being humble and being forthcoming with my sin and my shortcomings.
Yes.
Than having the glass broken when they realize, oh, she's been doing it so wrong, or she yells at me and she doesn't even apologize for it.
Yes.
I would rather be that person, you know?
Yes. And unhealthy people don't apologize. Mm-hmm. And kids pick up on that pretty young, very, very young. Like, oh, she never apologizes. Yeah. So anyway, if you don't apologize, do some deep soul
Come on,
searching.
Book a session.
Yes. Yes. We'd love to see you at Works of Wonder Therapy.
So from stonewalling to self-soothing, why do parents sometimes shut down or walk away emotionally and physically?
I think a lot of times people get there. There is a thing. I finally remember what it was called, but it's called compassion fatigue. Ooh. And it's where you honestly, you're done. You cannot. Mm-hmm. So you are in a state where you are so unhealthy, that it's easier to just avoid contact. So I think that's why people do move to stonewalling.
Yeah.
Some people, I think they feel like it's a punishment, like, well, I'm just going to punish you and show you, but it's not. And especially in parenting, it's not. It's just making your child feel unsafe. Yeah. But if we move to self-soothing,
okay,
then we set that little boundary. Like I'm upset. I'm going to go to the bathroom and calm myself down, right? Go ahead and say that language out loud to your child. And then we go in there and we just are like, "Ooh, this is really hard. Okay, what's the next thing I need to do?" Mm-hmm. That self-compassion, that ability to soothe yourself is what prevents you from stonewalling.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we unintentionally stonewall as well with the distraction.
Yes.
Because we're not intentionally being emotionally removed, but we are because we're preoccupied.
Yes.
Or then we're immediately overstimulated. And so we're leading ourselves into a losing battle.
Yes. Yes. And that overstimulation, I do think there probably is a lot of stonewalling that comes straight from overstimulation.
For sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But taking that pause, showing your child that they are important enough for you to take a moment so that you can be healthy for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And model that. Like, truly help them see it and embrace it. That's how they learn to self-soothe. That's how they learn to self-regulate.
Yeah. What's one communication shift a parent can practice this week?
I think probably the one that will provide the most change in a short amount of time is not being defensive. Mm-hmm. And So going out of your way to apologize and repair and own what you did wrong in the situation is a game changer for a child, because it heals them on so many levels. But as soon as we attempt to defend our own behavior, even little 6-7-year-olds pick up on hypocrisy. They do. Like, they're so fast to see it and to know it, and just, being vulnerable and transparent and asking for forgiveness. That's a quick, easy game changer.
Yeah. Healthy communication isn't about being perfect.
No,
it's about learning, repairing, and trying again.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Be sure to follow Dr. Long. She has all kinds of wisdom on her social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And then Works of Wonder Therapy is on all those platforms as well. We'll have the handles down below. And don't forget to go get Beyond Words, the art of effectively communicating with your children. Dr. Long has just put all of these things and more in there. But thank you for hanging out with us today. Follow the podcast too, so you don't miss one of these good episodes.
Oh, we hope you love it, and we're thankful you're here. Always be kind and honest, because it works wonders.
It does.